Welcome to Tactical Truths, the playlist where we bring you the latest military news, tactical analysis, and stories that matter most to our community. Hit subscribe and join us for sharp insights and frontline perspectives. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is the Tactical Truth. It's Tactical Truth time, and Trump is in the news again. Yes, he is. Someone else is trying to take his life. Right. He could build a bit of a record here, couldn't he? Now, I'm going to tell you right now off the bat, Fidel Castro holds the record for the most assassination attempts, 638, all right? And he died of natural causes. So that tells me we should really have Fidel Castro's team on Trump, and he might be okay. This time then, the chosen piece of ground to try and kill Trump was in his own back garden. Look, have a butcher's. Hang on, here we go. In his own backyard. Have a look at the map. There you go. In his own backyard on his golf club, right? Now, that's quite a clever place to get him, isn't it? You know he's going to play golf. He's not going to give up golf overnight. He likes it, doesn't he? So you know he's going to be there. You know what way he's going to walk round, because you don't sort of like do holes randomly, do you? So you know he's going to go 1 through to 18, okay? You also know that his bodyguard team are going to walk it first, all right? So, yeah, this particular place also had a little patch of ground where the press used to get in and take photographs. Now, if I can see you with a camera, I can see you with a scope. If I can see you with a scope, hey, guess what? I can shoot you in the head. There you go, innit? It was tailor-made. So let's get into this, and let's have a quick butchers.
A person has been detained in connection with this incident that occurred at the Trump International Golf Club around 1:30 p.m. Eastern earlier this afternoon. U.S. Secret Service agents fired gunshots at the suspect, who they believe was armed and intended to target former President Trump. An AK.
There you go. They believed he was armed. They actually know he was armed because they saw the gun, or they wouldn't have fired. So that's kind of, I love the way these reporters on the telly, they know nothing, do they? They absolutely know. They just, shut up, right. So that's why I'm doing it. Right, okay. Let's get back on with it.
A-style long arm rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks, and a GoPro camera were recovered. That Secret Service agent spotted the barrel of a rifle sticking out from those trees near that.
Right, so basically what's happened is, as I said earlier, the Secret Service agents are going to walk round. They've seen what they believe is a barrel of a gun poking out, all right? They've had a pop at it. I'm led to believe that although there's all sorts of hype at the moment about what was fired and what wasn't fired, I'm led to believe that only one shot was fired in the direction of where this person, or where the firing point was seen, and that person then is obviously scarpered. The person was seen scarpering. Let's get it from the horse's. Let's get it from the nag's head.
Golf course right there, and that's when shots were fired at the suspect.
There's a picture of the firing point. All right, that is a firing point. Make no mistake about that. Couple of bags hung up. A GoPro was recovered. Whoever did this was obviously going to use the footage that they got to put on social media or something. I don't know. But they wanted the footage. They wanted to prove that they'd done it. So that's alarming on its own, isn't it?
That eventually another individual saw what was going on and took some pictures of the vehicle that the suspect was using, the license plate, and eventually the suspect was captured in Martin County.
Okay, so the most switched on person in the immediate event was probably the guys that identified him on the golf course, or identified the firing point on the golf course. The second most switched on person wasn't even on the payroll, just a random. Hey, that looks odd. Wow, look, man fleeing from scene, getting in car. And he did the right thing. He took the numbers, details of the car and all that sort of stuff and fed it straight into the sausage machine, up the chain of command, and hey presto, before you knew it, they were after it.
Captured in Martin County, just north of Palm Beach County, not very far away. Jonathan Wackrow, the fact that there was a GoPro camera that was right near that fence, near those backpacks that this suspect had over there, what does that say to you?
What does that say to you? It says to me that somebody was making a genuine attempt to not only kill Donald Trump, but to film it. And that's sort of like, that's indicative of today's age, isn't it, I suppose, isn't it? People don't just want to do it, they want to film it as well. I mean, why not go, would he have gone whole hog? Would he have taken a little selfie once from inside the firing point to post to it? I don't know. Would he put it straight onto his editor, edited it up? Yeah. an attempt. Anyway, so he was caught. He was stopped in his car, not far. So that meant that from flash to bang time, thankfully, because this person got the details of the car, the agencies involved were all over this like a tramp on chips. They were proper on it this time, right? And don't forget, it's not far from the last attempt. So they've probably upped everything. Everything they've got's been upped, doesn't it? So yeah, let's have a quick. This is actually at the stop.
The suspect gets out of that Nissan vehicle. He is looking at multiple AR-15s and handguns pointed at him from multiple directions in this vehicle containment technique where they've blocked him in on 3 sides. So he can be nothing but calm.
Okay, so basically they've done their interpretation of a stop, which has involved a car at front, a car to the side, and a car behind. He's going nowhere unless he wants to roll it into the ditch, through the bushes, and start smacking trees. He's got no option but to stop. All right? He's not offered any resistance. He's not fired out through the windows. He realises that now he is as guilty as a puppy next to a pile of poo. He's on his way out of that vehicle, and there's nothing he's going to do about it. So you might as well play ball, or you're going to get killed.
And he was compliant with the commands they gave him, and then he was taken into custody. So a lot went right today, and a lot
went right. That's what this is. Obviously their spokesman. A lot went right. Yes, a lot did went right, but we've also got to have a look at this from another point of view. A lot went wrong as well. For this to even have happened in the first place, a lot did go wrong again. All right, that's alarming for a start, isn't it?
came together.
Walk straight back.
It's the
Right. This is someone's footage of the stop and detain as it happened.
moment Donald Trump's accused would-be assassin is taken into custody. Ryan Wesley Ruth walks backwards, his shirt over his head to show he's not carrying any weapons.
He never said anything. We kept body cam.
He looked like a bit of he looked like a prawn, didn't he, with his shirt over his head? We've got the prawn. Anyway, they've got him. Easy job, that one. Easy day. Get out the car, show us your hands, show us your skin, get yourself back here. Loads of people on him. You can't do nothing there. If you so much as raise a finger in this situation, there's going to be somebody with an itchy enough finger to put you straight on your pants. Like, do you know what I mean? So he knew that, and obviously he came straight to them, where he was detained, handcuffed, and off he went.
He was very calm. His demeanor was one I'd characterize as consistent with somebody who was on their way to a late church service on a Sunday. Not somebody who just fired at the former president of the United States.
Right, he says there that he fired at the former president of the United States. I don't think he did. So I think whenever this interview was made, he was still getting information back from somewhere which wasn't 100% on the ball. But doesn't matter at this stage of the campaign because your shooter's detained.
He says Ruth never uttered a word.
Put him in the back seat.
Now that is the face of a man who's quite happy with what he's just done, isn't it? So where he says he looks like he's just come back from church, I make him right on that. He looks as calm and collected and calculated as you ever could. He's almost sort of like going, hey, yeah, that was me. Yep, that was all me. That was my gun, my firing point, and my attempt at trying to take down this horrible man. In his own mind, of course, that would be how he was thinking, not me. But there you go. That's him, isn't it? That's, in a wonder, that's him. How happy does he look? I don't think I've ever seen anybody so chuffed. He's happy.
Handcuffed, kept the door open, just in case he made a spontaneous utterance. He didn't.
Ruth was apprehended for.
I'm going to tell you, he's got some bitch tits as well. I'll tell you what, I don't know which is worse here. I think I would sooner have been shot than reveal my body, which is going to photograph now, which is going to go around the road several million times. Not many people in the world are not going to see that photograph and get to admire his bitch tits. He can't be happy with it. He's pulling her face there, and he's got his shades down. He's pulling her face. He's sort of like wearing his shades in a Dennis Taylor-esque way on the end of his nose, so he could, a bizarre fella. I bet there's going to be some stuff comes out of the woodwork on this fella, I'm going to tell you, because he's bonkers, isn't he?
45 minutes after he fled Trump's West Palm Beach golf course, where cops say he lay in wait like a sniper for 12 hours. His hiding place was.
How do they know he was there for 12 hours? And if they did, why did nobody get him? Think about that. He was there for 12 hours. How do you know he was there for 12 hours? This is stuff that's coming out straight away after the event has happened. Is that an assumption? Anyway, it's just me picking things, being ultra critical and picking things apart. But he was there, and he was in a place where he knew he could get eyes on.
Between the 5th and 6th holes, it appears to be the same spot photographers use to take photos of Trump when he's golfing. Look how close they can get.
So there you go. Look at that image there, and that is the image that this potential would-be wannabe killer would have had. That's the image he would have had, all right? That's not that far away. It's certainly a shot I'd fancy taking. Do you know what I mean? If you miss that, and you claim to be, you've got a decent weapon with half decent scope on it, I'd do that with iron sights. I'd be quite happy to do that with iron sights. In fact, yeah, not a problem there. There's not a problem, is there? He's thought about that. But the press have actually aided him. Now, this is where it gets to me a little bit suspect in as far as how the authorities have dealt with this, all right? They know Trump likes golf. They know he's going to play that course. They also presumably would have seen these photographs and know the weaknesses. And it doesn't put the brains of an archbishop to say, right, a camera can see him, a gun could kill him from there. So that particular place on that golf course would have been known about. They also know, like I pointed out to you earlier, Trump's got to go 1 through to 18. He's not going to play 1, then 7, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 13. He's going to walk around the same way every time, isn't he? All right? So this guy's actually done his work. He's done his own work. He's found somewhere that's going to give him a decent shot. He realises which way Trump's got to go. All he's got to do now is wait for Trump to play, which might be why they've said he was in the bush for 12 hours. Don't know.
300 yards from Trump. At 1:30 p.m., a Secret Service agent who was 1 hole ahead of Trump spotted a gun barrel sticking out of the chain link fence and fired.
The club's perimeter.
Right, so fair play to him. He was doing his job, all right? I'm going to imagine now that it would have been fairly easy to miss the gun barrel through the fence, all right? If the shooter had any depth of knowledge of camouflage and concealment whatsoever, maybe he didn't, but if he had any depth of knowledge whatsoever, he would have made it quite difficult to see. So fair play to the agent there. He sees a firing point. Not only that, he identifies it as a firing point, and as I'm led to believe now, he gets a round off in the direction, which is enough to see that shooter on his toes.
Fence and fired.
The club's perimeter is more than 3 miles long. This is one part of it, right by a public road. There's a chain link fence. Beyond that, you can easily see the course.
There you go. Right by a public road as well. So you get away, whether it be by push bike, on foot, until you get out of the sight. If you could park a vehicle there, if you had somebody picking you up, whatever, your getaway is going to be fairly easy because you're straight onto the highway and you're straight out of there. And I've had a quick butchers at the map. Several ways you could go. You could put loops in. You could get yourself quite well ahead of any potential would-be person who was coming after you. So the guy that sees him and dials this in, fair play to him as well, because he'd done a good job there. He'd done the right thing, and ultimately he's responsible for getting this man caught. The agent on the golf course is the one who spots him, gets the round off, gets him out of the way. The guy who dials it in is the guy that ultimately gets our shooter caught.
And this was the route Donald Trump was taking during his round. He'd reached hole 5. According to police, as the former president played, Secret Service agents walked 1 hole ahead, as is standard. And we're told those agents spotted a rifle sticking out of the fence. BBC verifiers concluded it was somewhere in this area, which was later cordoned off. Police say Donald Trump was between 300 and 500 yards away, within range of the rifle.
He might have been in range. Was he in line of sight of that rifle? But surely at some stage, and definitely 100%, he would have come into range and in line of sight. So I'll take my hat off to those 2 agents who spotted it.
Secret Service leadership has failed yet again because...
Right, Timothy Miller is calling them out here. Oh, I get this. Timothy Miller's upset. He's a former Secret Service agent, so he's always going to say, oh, it would never have happened in my day. He's going to say that it would never have happened in my day. And, of course, it didn't happen in his day, so he's pretty much in the clear there, isn't he? He's straight on the sort of like on their cases, right? Now, I'm going to, as I said with the last assassination attempt, is the president still alive? Yes. Job done. Job done. He's still alive. Is there plenty to debrief? Yes. On a golf course, in an area where he was, at a time of something happening where you can guarantee which way he's going to go, the pattern's already been set, the security should have been heightened. No matter how much you look at this, and how many different times you analyse it, somebody should have been around there doing a 360 not long before the president went. Now, having your agents in front one hole is fine, but if you've given somebody the chance to set up in the bushes, well, there's nothing to say that that guy, if he was half decent and switched on, would have gone pop to those two agents. There you go, you're gone, bang, straight into Trump. All right? Something to think about, isn't it? It is something to think about.
The resources that are required to protect President Trump are still not there.
But golf courses are
He's saying the resources to protect Donald Trump aren't there. I'm going to disagree with him slightly. They are there because they worked again, didn't they? He's not dead, okay? What they're not doing is utilising possibly what they've got to the best of their ability, and that's why these situations are happening.
especially difficult to secure, says former FBI agent Richard Frankel.
The border.
Right, here's another former FBI agent just trying to get himself on the television, telling us how difficult it is to secure a golf course. I mean, come on, mate. This is a place of Donald Trump's choosing. It actually belongs to him. It's not a difficult thing to do, all right? You don't need thousands of people to do it. You just need people on the day that are going to have a proper look around, a proper scout, and maybe a couple of cameras, a drone, that sort of stuff that gives it a proper sweep before any activity happens on there. It ain't hard, is it?
Almost every golf course is very expansive and very open. It's almost impossible.
Blah, 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 blah.
To cover every area of a golf course's border to make sure that no one comes in. You cannot control the borders of a golf course, or if you do, it's going to.
We're not asking you to control the borders of the golf course. We're just asking you to do a sweep before the president plays on it. Do you know what I mean? To expect somebody to stag on that golf course 24/7 would be unreasonable. As things are actually taking part, that's not unreasonable, is it? You know, maybe a few extra guys just to do a 360, maybe some irregular patrolling, so that whoever was potentially setting it up would never know if there was going to be somebody there or not. There's ways you can mitigate this sort of thing, and they're not seeing them. And that guy there, blah, 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 I'm full of shit, shut up.
Of a golf course, or if you do, it's going to take an extreme amount of manpower.
It's not going to take an extreme... He's annoying me. I've turned him off. He's gone now. It's not going to take an extreme amount of manpower. You can't put 1,000 people around your camp when you're in the army, can you? So what you do is you place patrols out that go at irregular times, irregular intervals, so that nobody can second guess what you're doing, but you know you're doing something. All right? It ain't hard. So anyway, look. Let's summarise this. Let's have a look. Right. Another attempt on Donald Trump. People obviously don't like him. Not everybody, but there's a large amount of people that don't like him that are prepared to go and do something about it. They're showing that now. Okay, this is the second attempt in a couple of months. That's not good. The security staff on the first attempt, shocking. That's all you can say is shocking. I've debriefed it. Go and have a look if you haven't seen it. Shocking. On this one, he's been picked on in his own back garden. I would have said it should never have got to this stage. I think the bloke should have been picked up while he was setting up, or at least found way before Trump's immediate advance, who were on his inner circle, find the shooter. That said, they did find him, and they did get a shot off at him, and they did enough to get him out of the way so he could no longer pose a threat. And as far as capturing the perpetrator in this event, is the guy who is outside, unconnected, who goes, that's not wrong, and they take down the details of the car, and then the wheels are in motion after that. A fairly decent stop. They've got him out. Job's over. Job's a good one. Successful day at the office. Nobody's lost their life. You can't moan at that. So there you go. That's my interpretation of events so far. Thanks for tuning in to Tactical Truths. For more military news and insights, hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay informed, stay prepared. This is the Tactical Truth.